Hello, Gerald.
Hi, Ran.
You're a German philosophical practitioner.
Yeah, that's true.
And you're a board member, in fact, of the German Association for Philosophical Practice, the IGPP.
Yeah.
So you are involved with philosophical practice with different people, different thinkers. How do you see the way philosophical practice is happening now? Where are we standing? And where do you think we should be trying to go?
Yeah. That's a lot of questions and very interesting questions, of course. I would like to start with a situation which I see in our world. So currently I think in the Western civilization there is a kind of spiritual vacuum created. So a lot of people have a longing for spiritual things, but do not know where to go because our religion traditions are breaking down currently. For example, Christianity in our Western world, and it doesn't work for let's say the people who are used to analyze things, who are used to ask natural scientific questions, who have a different understanding of psychology, who are not any more familiar with myths. And so they are somehow lost. And what is offered to them is a purely materialistic approach, which is quite nice, but leads also somewhere to getting lost, because we see now that also our capitalistic system comes to its edge or meets a limit. Also, it's aimed for being limitless, but people start now to consume themselves. So to imperialize themselves, and this creates also dissatisfaction and also this kind of spiritual vacuum.
So I understand that the point is that our culture no longer satisfies our spiritual needs, but on the other hand there is no other existing spiritual vision. So let me guess that you are suggesting that philosophical practice can appeal to this need.
What a surprise. Yeah, it's exactly like this. I think we have to find new ways. Ways which are not promising to deliver in an objective manner the truth, or to request to obey to some specific content.
To obey a command.
Exactly.
Or and to follow a dogma.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And I think this is the time now for a philosophical approach and for a philosophical practical approach, which is maybe something different than what is offered in a pure academic philosophical way. Because I think there are three major questions of a human being in principle, which is who I am, what on earth should I do here, and where do I go? So
where do I go after I die, or where do I go now?
Where do I go after I die? So what at all is death, and am I nothing after it, or what's happening in that? So these are the three major questions, and in our academic philosophical way, we do not ask for these questions anymore. They are too big, so we specialized on a fragmented approach on specific items which are let's say approached in a very analytical way, and this is not an approach for everyone. It's for specialized scientists, let's say, philosophical scientists. Yeah.
So, if I understand, your point is that philosophical practice can appeal to people who seek, one can say seekers, people who need not to solve some problem with their husband or wife, but who need to, they have a spiritual need. Now, how is this going?
It's exactly the point. It's exactly the point. And I think, of course, we have a lot of helping offers in our spiritual vacuum. Let's say it like this. We have all these wellness things. We have several New Age approaches. We have the psychological approach, and also I see there's a tendency in a philosophical practice to be quite similar to this psychological approach. So one comes to me with a concrete life issue, and he wants to have help. He wants to be supported, but it deals with his personality, so with the I of him, and I think. This is also a quite limited approach. It does not ask about the whole thing, about the meaning of existence, and it's not something which you seek together. It's very much like I am the giver, you are the receiver, you pay money, I deliver something and hope that it fits your needs. But my vision of philosophical practice is different, because it's the coming together of two people philosophing about the unknown in our existence, the center of our being, and no one knows in an absolute manner the answer. Of course, the philosophical practitioner, he's quite experienced in asking questions about this, and maybe he can trigger something with his guest. But both think about and both learn through this dialogic way of approaching the unknown.
So it's a real search that the two do, not one who knows or has a technique or has some theory or answers, but searching together. Now, let's be a little bit concrete. Let's say that I come to you and I say, Gerald, my job is fine, my family is fine, somehow life goes by and I feel that I need something more. Is this all there is to life? What can we do in let's say, counseling or group activity with you?
We can ask about what life means for you. For example, if you come to me, and also for me, I can tell you about what is the meaning for me. You can tell me about the meaning for you. Then maybe there will be a synergy between us. We will discuss what we should do here, and what makes our life essential and meaningful. And this can end in further discussions. It can end in or it can ongoing in reading texts together, in studying ancient texts about this, in approaching philosophia perennis. It can be also that we sit together just in silence, that we go in a contemplative mode together.
The first two things that you mentioned now, the talking, discussing together, and possibly reading a text, seem to suggest an intellectual approach. Is this the direction that you want to take it, or is this just one part of the direction?
Yeah, of course, it can be only one part, because in an intellectual approach, you create, to say it with Karl Jaspers, to create a fragmentation of reality, because you create this subject-object difference. And so you can be never involved, but at all it can trigger something in you. And for this, it's worth to be not only, let's say, emotional, but to really think about, to be reasonable, to think about what is the meaning of what happens to me. And I think from this reflection and from this dialogic way of reflection, other things can rise. For example, maybe we decide after our dialogue to go out and watch a nice flower or to smell the flower, and then to talk about what happened to us in this experience and what it has to do with our being.
Is it possible that this kind of encounter might produce just going in circles if I feel quite clueless? I have no idea what to do, and so we just discuss and nothing touches me. And is it possible, as a way of addressing these problems of going in circles, to bring in some material from the outside that would arouse in me something, that would touch me, that would create a new horizon for my thinking?
Yeah, of course, there are several methods which can be used. And for me, it's important to maintain there are methods, but this is not, let's say, a method. So it depends on the situation and the interaction between us, what we can choose. And for example, it can be that I would say, okay, let's stop it all. This intellectual approach now. We have discussed a lot, and let's just do together some static postures and go together in silence. So this is an approach from let's say, approaching the spiritual via the body. This can be one thing.
So you demand of the counselor or the practitioner to be someone who can do many things, and someone who can be totally with the counselee, the client, every time again. The philosophical practitioner, he must have a lot of experience, and he must flow with his guest, and then if he flows with his guest, he also comes into this flow, and then maybe there are arising new methods, but it's important to have let's say, some methods where you can start. As a tool, but not as a final rule.
Exactly.
Aren't you demanding a lot of the practitioner? You want him or her to be a wise person, actually.
Yeah. I'm demanding this because it's also the demand on myself to continuously improve in this area. Also in self-caring. I have to transform myself continuously. Otherwise, I'm not able to, in this way, to accompany a guest, and also this way of philosophical practice is demanding also for the guest. It's for both demanding because it goes about everything. It goes about the essence of life. So it is something which really touches you, and maybe which can change your way to approach life. And I'm also not sure about if this is something where money has to be in between. So I think it will demand a lot of both who are doing this process, but it will give much. Maybe not money. Nobody will be rich, but maybe satisfied in his inner self.
Let's hope that this new horizon will open for us philosophical practitioners.
Great.
Thank you, Gerald.
Thanks a lot, Ran.